Hey, I saw Alita Battle Angel. Let's talk about it. Alita Battle Angel is the story of a young girl called Alita who's found in a scrap heap in a futuristic, post-apocalyptic world. Christoph Waltz discovers her and puts her back together, and then she discovers that she's more powerful than she ever thought she would be. I'm going to be very honest here. I don't know anything about the source material, about the anime or the manga or wherever this came from. All I know is they've been trying to get this movie made for years. And James Cameron is the man behind this movie. He bought the rights to it. He was initially going to direct this film for the longest time. And then we heard that Robert Rodriguez had come along and is taken over directing duties with James Cameron, helping to pen the script and also to executive produce the film. Now, I'm not a big James Cameron fan as a filmmaker or as a person. I'm not the huge James Cameron fan at all. And Robert Rodriguez hasn't exactly made the best movies recently. He's made some very good ones, but he's also made some quite shitty movies. So going into Alita Battle Angel, I had literally zero expectation for this film. I thought the trailers were bad trailers, to be honest with you, and I was seeing some of the early reviews that were coming out. It wasn't looking good. I was not looking forward to seeing this film, but I went in with lowered expectations, but with an open mind. I was ready to be shown whatever this movie was going to show me, and I gotta tell you, I thought this movie was fucking awesome. Now, I'm not a fan of 3D, but I went to this screening because it was the only advanced screening and it was only in 3D. So I reluctantly went and saw it in 3D. And I was actually very impressed with the 3D and with the technology that has advanced since the last time I saw 3D, which was well over like 5 or 6 years ago. And I also really enjoyed the first act of this film, the world building, the establishing shots that are set up in this film, and the designs and the look of everything. This movie looks visually, it looks sensational. And not just the world building in the first act, the development of the characters, the Christoph Waltz character, when he discovers Alita, I thought that was very interesting. And also Alita when she's, walking around and seeing things again for the first time. Like, it's very much like a fish out of water kind of scenario, and she's discovering the world and she's trying to figure out who she is, and the sense of discovery in that and the sense of wonder that she has. She's surprised by things, she's figuring out what things are, and I found that very interesting and very, very entertaining. The other thing I really enjoyed about this film was the action sequences in this movie. Like, my favorite scene in this film is a scene in a bar that takes place, and Alita's, wrecking shop and kicking ass, and it is a fantastic sequence. It's my favorite scene in the entire movie. Where that scene eventually goes is also pretty cool. The CGI is really awesome, and the CGI on Alita herself is pretty good. Alita is played by a young actress named Rosa Salazar, and she did a fantastic job in this film. I understand it's performance capture and all that, but there's still an actress behind all the CGI and all the visuals, and it really is still her face, I think. Aside from the, the big Amanda Seyfried eyes. But she did a fantastic job in this film. Also the way she, has to portray emotions and her connections to other characters. The character of Hugo, who plays like her love interest in the film. And I've seen a lot of people sort of critiquing that and saying that didn't really work for them. And for me, I actually bought into that very, very quickly and instantly, and I understood it, and I really got attached to these characters, and I got invested in this story and in these characters in a way that I wasn't expecting to, nor did I really want to going in. This is an example of a movie for me where I went in almost with preconceived notions. I went in pretty much convinced I was about to see a bad movie. I really was, because I didn't like the trailers, and I'm not a big fan of James Cameron or Robert Rodriguez for that matter. And I'm really surprised by this movie. I really am. The visuals, the action sequences, the performances, the story has its issues. It does. That's really the major issue in this film. The script has some issues. I think the biggest problem with this movie, and my biggest issue with it, is by far the fact that this movie, like, say, a Mortal Engines, like a Crimes of Grindelwald, does set up a lot of things for a sequel or for like 8 other movies coming down the line. Like, this film really does feel in certain parts like it is just the prologue to the main story we're gonna get later. The film does sort of end on a cliffhanger. It really isn't its own complete contained story either, and that is also a major criticism of this film. It ends quite abruptly, and it ends in a way where you're like, that's it, really? But honestly, the rest of the film, I had such a good time with it, and I had a lot of fun with it, to the point where that becomes a minor criticism. Like, it really does. And that's something that in other movies would really bother me. Like, with Crimes of Grindelwald, you know, that film really annoyed me, because that film just felt like it was all set up, no payoff, no nothing. I didn't like Crimes of Grindelwald. Mortal Engines felt like all it was trying to do was set up the next, like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies. Same thing with Tom Cruise's The Mummy that came out the other year. But unlike all those movies where I didn't like what they did and I didn't enjoy those movies, I enjoyed Alita Battle Angel. I had a hell of a good time with this film, and I would certainly recommend going to check it out. Even if you're on the fence about seeing the film, I think it is worth checking out, if nothing else for the visuals alone. And also, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of 3D. This is a movie that really lends itself to the 3D and to that technology, and it really was shot and made with the 3D technology in mind, so it is worth going to see in 3D if you can. And if you've seen Alita Battle Angel, or if you're looking forward to it, jump down in the comments section below. Let's carry on the discussion right down there. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like this video, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.